What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the TB Toycast unboxing right here on YouTube. And do we ever have a special one today? Your eyes do not deceive you. I am unboxing the brand new Rush Collectibles, Rush Monster Masters Frankenstein. This is an unpainted sample that was sent to me by the one and only Sal from Rush Collectibles, and I am super excited to unbox this. This, of course, is not the final figure. As everyone knows, the final figure will be fully painted. This is simply a factory sample to get an idea and to let everyone here watching know what this figure is and what it's about. I'll let you guys in on a little bit of information. This figure was actually purchased by Travis from the TB Toycast podcast, but Sal sent it to me to review here on the channel. I will be sending it to Travis. So really excited to dive into this. Look how cool this card art is, right? And obviously I unbox, right? But card art is so important to me because it brings up so many memories. Like you look at the original WWF Hasbro cards. Man, those things are just an absolute work of art. And even some of the ones that weren't like as iconic, something about seeing that card art again, like LJN Wrestling Superstars, certainly. And you're just like, oh man, I remember those. I remember how that card looked. The G.I. Joe Street Fighter line is another one. That the card art, you know, you just see it and you're just like, oh man, that takes me back. So we're going to look at that. Look at this card. I mean, look. I love the Monster Masters logo, the big eyeball in there. Of course, Rush, the slime. Dude. It's not 90s if there isn't slime. Look at that, of course, Figure 1, Series 1. A nice picture of Frank there. Look at the eyes. Look at the crevices in the skin, the bolts, the lightning. Oh, so cool. And, of course, Frankenstein right under there. Such a cool piece. Like, of course, this is, like I said, the unpainted sample, or prototype, as it were. And the actual figure, when it comes in, will be fully painted. But I want to show you something else, too, if people aren't aware. So I talk a lot about the roster of action figures, and that being one of my favorite things. And that is true. And I feel like action figures today don't really, fulfill that with, hey, check out what else is in this line. Like, here's a good example of an elite figure, Zeus, here from SummerSlam. I'm going to be unboxing this soon. The roster, who's in the line. So you get, Desert Storm, Hulk Hogan, Zeus, Dolph Ziggler, and Jey Uso, and then you can build Mr. Perfect. So you're like, oh, that's cool. That's what's in the line. I dig that. I think that's cool. A lot of like G.I. Joes don't do this. I don't think Star Wars does this. They don't show what else is in the wave, which is what I guess they choose to do. Sal didn't do that with this, but man, oh man, this is so much cooler. A mini comic on the back of the card, giving you the full story of Frankenstein. Not the full story, a brief summary, obviously, of the character, but how cool is this? This is the coolest thing. And, Sal does the artwork, if people don't know. Like, look how cool, this looks like a legitimate comic book. And the only problem I see with this is that I want a freaking comic book now. I want the full comic book. That's what's so cool about the artwork here. And of course, Rush Collectibles, you can find them on Instagram at Rush Collectibles. Also, Rush Monster Masters on Instagram to get more information exclusively on the Monsters line. And if you're digging this, I highly recommend checking out the Kickstarter. I'm going to put a link here. Or you can actually search Rush Monsters on Kickstarter and it pops up. Frankenstein, Nosferatu. Those are already well into production, but also the Rush Creature, little creature of the Black Lagoon-esque type figure, as well as Cthulhu, plus some unlockables. Now, usually when you see unlockables with these Kickstarters, it's, hey, after a certain point, you can buy this new figure. Oh, no. Sal's not doing that. He's saying, get to this point, I'm throwing this one in. We get to, I think it's 20,000. Hey, everybody gets a werewolf figure. 30,000, everybody gets a Van Helsing. 40,000, everybody gets a headless horseman with a horse. Like, are you kidding me? That is insane. So that to me is probably the coolest thing about that Kickstarter is you can order 4 figures and potentially end up with 7 plus a horse. Like, that's insane. And for $120? No one in the retail game is doing that. And Sal has caught a lot of flack I'm not denying that, and I know that there's been a lot of people very vocal about that online. But I talk to Sal a lot, and I'm not shy to mention that because I consider Sal a good friend of mine. And yeah, some of his figures did break, but I know a lot of companies have had stumbles. I've seen companies that had, bubbles fall off cards, figures actually break, or, paint quality issues. I've seen a lot of that stuff. So I'm not trying to knock anybody, of course, because I understand everybody's trying, and a lot of people are new to this. And I certainly would know if I were to dive into this, which I have no plans to, it would be a challenge to get that to happen, 100%. So Sal had some stumbles, but I think he's back on track. And the Donald Trump and Chris Van Vliet were actually in this box, so those will be unboxed soon. I know those will be some interesting ones, a little controversial maybe, but still fun. But yeah, I'm loving this Frankenstein. And, full disclosure, Sal was telling me, he's like, dude, this might be the coolest figure I've ever held in my hand. Like, legit, it is amazing. And he said the picture won't do it justice. Wait till it's in your hand. And I got to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, when I saw this, I was like, oh, this is incredible. Haven't unboxed it yet, but as you can see, the slipcover type carding. I'm going to pull that open right here. Obviously, this isn't mine. Like I mentioned before, this belongs to Travis. So we're going to take very good care of it. I'm going to set it right down here and put it all back together when I'm done with this video here, because this is Travis's figure, as we do know. Oh, man, look at that. Setting him up right there. Even unpainted, this thing looks incredible. Now, this is probably my favorite part. Yes, the top of the head pops off. The detail. Like, in the hands. Like, the zombie style of the hands. Look at the detail on the shirt there and on the jacket. And, like, in the hands, it almost is like they were sewn together. Like, like it's parts. Because that's what the Frankenstein monster was. Of course, the rips in the clothes. Then the boots. This thing is incredible. It feels incredible. And to have this guy as a Hasbro, man, that is such a cool thing. This thing is incredible. Like, the more I look at it, the more I'm falling in love with it, because it's just such a cool piece. And, I was telling Sal, I was like, one thing that would be so fun with this is the possibilities. Think about as a kid, if you saw this on store shelves, you ran across a Frankenstein, and it's in Hasbro scale. You're like, oh, man. That would go with my WWF Hasbros. You could have Frankenstein team up with The Undertaker to take out Hulk Hogan, Maybe Hulk Hogan defeats The Undertaker and wins the WWF title back, so The Undertaker's got a secret weapon, and it's Frankenstein, and he's taking out Hogan. And now Hogan's got to go through Frankenstein, and, it's stuff like that. I know it's corny and it's hokey, but, man, it's so much fun. And that was one thing I always, I wish Hasbro had included the Street Fighter figures in the Hasbro line, because they were made by Hasbro, but they went with G.I. Joe, and I get it for vehicles and accessories and stuff. It made more sense, but man, how cool would it have been to have the Street Fighter characters in Hasbro form? They also had Mortal Kombat back in '94, having those characters in Hasbro form, WWF Hasbro form, as it were. Oh man, it would have just been so cool. And it's no secret that the Hasbro line is absolutely one of my favorite lines of all time. So seeing this figure, I'm going to pick this up again. This is just such a cool thing. Look at this. I love the exposed brain. Look at that. Wow. Just such a fun thing. Like, imagine, he's getting tombstoned by The Undertaker, and drops him on his head, and his head falls off. Oh my gosh, so much fun. So much fun. Yeah, this thing is absolutely incredible. I know several versions are coming. Including a glow in the dark, I'm pretty sure is on the way, as well as a bloody variant. So bloody figures, that's kind of a thing we're not seeing a lot in wrestling as much. I guess we are a little bit more now. AEW's dabbling in bloody, but for years we never really saw that. So how cool would that be to get a bloody Frankenstein, a bloody Nosferatu, a bloody creature, etc. Such a cool thing. I cannot wait for my Frankenstein to arrive. And a lot of people talked about the rush quality issues. Look at this. There's no seams here. Not that, there are, but nothing that's loose or separated. I can tell you firsthand the quality of this is absolutely phenomenal. I love the articulation. Obviously, Hasbro style or retro style don't have a lot of articulation, but if it just slides together perfectly. Oh my gosh, I can't get over how good this figure is. Sal, you were correct. If you're listening, man, you told me, you're like, oh man, you're not gonna believe how great this figure is, and you're absolutely right. This is unpainted, right? I mean, obviously it's one color, but like imagine, you know, with the green skin, the purple, all that stuff is really going to pop. So, man, this is such a cool piece. Once again, Rush Monster Masters, easy for me to say. Right there, Rush Monster Masters, Figure 1, Series 1. Such a cool piece. Cannot wait for these. You can pre-order this now over on the Kickstarter. There's about, as of this recording, about 30 days left. Right there, rushcollectibles.com, rushfigures.com. Check it all out. Not a toy. I mean, it will be for me because I'm playing with this thing, but maybe not officially a toy, but very, very cool stuff. Of course, the classic Hasbro style packaging. Oh, this is absolutely a beaut. And you know what I want? I want everyone to check this out, and if you're able to back that Kickstarter, do it, because the more of these get done, the more of these get finalized, the more we're going to get. Let's make Nosferatu. Obviously, Nosferatu's happening. Let's make the Creature happen. Let's make Cthulhu happen. Let's get Van Helsing. Let's get the Werewolf. Let's get the freaking Headless Horseman, so that more of these can happen and we can fulfill this monster quota. You know, let's get more monsters out there, more monsters in the Hasbro line. I want them all. Let's make it happen. But that is it for this unboxing video. Of course, check out the TB Toycast podcast. And if you want to hear more about this, what I'm going to pitch is a podcast I recently did with Sal from Rush Collectibles, where we talked about some setbacks he's had with the line, what he wants to do with the line. So check that out. Hear it from the man himself. Really nice guy, and I think he will definitely make it happen with this line. I'm really excited where it's going. The improvement is absolutely tenfold, and I think it's the start of things to come. It's really only going to get better from here. So that's all I got. Thank you guys for checking out the TB Toycast YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe, like the video, give it a thumbs up, and hit that notification bell so you never miss one of my unboxing videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thank you guys, and we will see you in the toy aisle.
Yeah. One more time. It ain't over till I say it's over. So lock the cage up, cause this is a takeover. The wait's over. If this the final time we meet, then you'll be on your back on my feet. Then I'll tip the cage over as a hangover. I'm super fly so I can splash off the top. And I can shut down the shop.